Warning: the following program may contain material not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
They say for every light in this world, there is a shadow waiting to reclaim it. We've been told what to believe, what to fear, and exactly where the boundaries of real end. But tonight, we're crossing those lines. From the whispers in the attic to the lights in the desert sky and the entities that walk among us, we are stepping behind the veil. Transmitting from deep within the mountains of West Virginia, it's time to seek the truth. This is Let's Find Out with Diego. And now, here is your host, Diego the Podcaster.
On this episode of Let's Find Out, spanning through Pennsylvania and down into West Virginia, this area is a legendary hotspot for everything from UFO sightings, the paranormal, to cryptid encounters. Our guest has spent the last 12 years embedded in those woods. He is the founder of Chestnut Ridge Paranormal, a researcher who has investigated and experienced bizarre light anomalies and unsettling events that defy logical explanation. All this plus more. We're bringing in our good friend, researcher, and investigator, Chadwick Gales. Chadwick, my friend, welcome back to Let's Find Out.
Hey, thanks, man. Glad to be back. I was excited when you asked me to come back on. I couldn't wait.
Oh, me too. And especially, it was kind of a good timing because when I asked you to come back, I think you were getting ready to go out to one of your expeditions.
Yeah.
And a few days later, you send me something, which we'll be playing here in a minute. I'm not going to give it away quite yet. It's towards the beginning of the episode, but man, I've watched it dozens of times and I ran it by you. And right about the same minute mark or the second mark, whatever that is, we saw the same things. And I think that we've enticed the listeners and the watchers of the show to really pay attention once we bring up that video. So,
yeah,
I know you always be busy. And every time I contact you, you say, hey, I'm going to be out in the woods. I might not have any service. But this has been happening a lot lately as far as you going out there. So, what have you been up to since we've last talked to you a few months ago?
Let's see. I went to Virginia again with Dan. We went to Schweitzer Lake, camped out for the weekend. And one of his buddies was there. They were camping like down the road from us, but we went down to their site and we got an interview with him because I guess the last time they were there, they're camping in the same spot they were that day. They had activity in the woods. They had heard like screams and said it sounded like someone speaking in tongues. He said it didn't sound like the samurai chatter or anything, but it sounded like someone speaking in tongues like really fast. And then they heard movement out in the forest like all night, I guess, until they left at like 6 a.m. They finally got tired of it and said, we're getting out of here, packed up and took off.
Wow. Now, for those out there, I'll tell you, I grew up in a Pentecostal church. And you want to talk about speaking in tongues. If you're going to compare samurai chatter to speaking in tongues, you cannot combine both and say they sound the same. It's a completely different type of thing.
Right.
So once you say speaking in tongues, now we're not looking at a cryptid here. We're talking more of a supernatural possible event.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, man. It's hard to say what was out in the woods, But I guess Schweitzer Lake is known for Bigfoot sightings. When Dan first contacted me about going down there, to camp for the weekend and investigate, he sent me a map with all the sightings, and there was like 19 or 20 sightings all around that lake. So it's pretty active. I mean, from from everything he sent me, it seemed like a pretty active area. So I was on board. I'm like, yeah, I'm coming down. So I went down. We didn't really have too much happen. They heard a couple tree knocks while I was like out in the woods one night. What else? Yeah, his buddy that was down the road, they said they heard a couple of whoops and a tree knock the same night. And then I was like up on the road because like it was like maybe 10 yards away from where we were camping. You could go up and out and up onto the dirt road. I was up there while Dan was doing some call blasting. He was what was it? The tapes that Ron Moorhead had. I can't, it's like right on the tip of my tongue, man.
It's the Sierra Sounds, is what it's called?
Yes, the Sierra Sounds. He was call blasting the Sierra Sounds, and I was up on the road, keeping an eye out in case I heard anything. And I heard something in the woods, maybe 10 yards away from me. It sounded like something walking around. I mean, it could have been a deer, but it sounded bigger than a deer. Like, it was bigger than a deer. So what do? I take off over into the woods, of course, but I didn't see anything. And I was over there for a good half an hour, but it just, I don't know, it felt like eerie, like something was watching me, but I didn't see anything and I didn't hear anything moving around and I didn't hear anything run off or anything. But when I was standing on the road and I heard it, it sounded like it was like 10 yards away, just walking along through the woods. I don't know, man, that was weird. I stayed over there, like I said, for about a half an hour looking around. I thought I saw eye shine at one time, but I think it might have been lightning bugs. Not super sure. Probably should get back over that video and check it out again. I went over it a couple times, but didn't really, see anything.
Right. It might be one of those things because I'll say it like this. You just got back from a camping trip for several days. You probably didn't get that much sleep. So when you get back home to your studio, you're reviewing the video, you might not be as fresh as a daisy looking for something or listening. So maybe if you go back in the next few days, well rested, go over the video, you may find something. You never know.
Right. Yeah, I usually wait a little while, maybe a few days before I go over stuff. But sometimes I like as soon as I get back, I start going over things. But usually I like to wait, but sometimes I don't. It's like, was it last weekend? Last Friday, a buddy of mine, actually, he just joined up with me and he's going to start helping me put out like better content because he's like a computer wizard, man. My buddy, Mark Pounds. See, I've been friends with this dude since I was like 5 years old. We had a band together back in the day. We were like best friends growing up. You know what I mean? Well, this guy, he got into computers like, he's had a computer, like a home computer, ever since you could buy a home computer. He builds them for people now, you know what I mean? Like custom home computers and stuff. So he's going to help me like with the editing side of everything, show me how to edit, teach me how to do some stuff so I can put out better content. He's going to join up with me and help me investigate and, do that. Pretty sure it was either last Friday or the Friday before that. This place in the next town over in Connellsville, it's called the Crawford School of Terror. It's a 3-story school building that was built in 1916. This place is big, man. Well, these people bought it and they like redid the whole thing as like a haunted Halloween maze. So it's like a haunted Halloween. I can't even talk. A haunted Halloween haunted house, basically. It's just like the whole place, all 3 floors is like a big maze. It's pretty cool. They hire people to be actors to scare people and everything. And well, they were going to do another ghost tour because I did one a couple of months ago. They had a group of 15 people and I took them around, you know what I mean? Scared the crap out of them a little bit. Tried to. We were doing some stuff. I gave everybody like a piece of equipment to use, like a EMF detector, mail meter, spirit box, got them involved in it. And it was pretty cool. And they paid me to do it. Well, they were supposed to have like a really big one with like 2 groups of 25 people. And they were going to pay me to do this one too, but it kind of fell through because they didn't sell enough tickets. You know what I mean? So the day I was talking to the owner, I was like, "You guys still want me to do the tour and stuff, the investigations?" And then he's like, "Yeah, definitely. I'll get back to you." He hits me back 20 minutes later and say, "Oh, bad news, man. We got to cancel it." I was like, "What?" Because I was like, I was relying on that because they were going to pay me. They were going to pay me pretty well too. But anyway, so he said they were going to cancel, and I was like, "Well, all right. Would it be cool if I go in and investigate anyway?" And they were like, they were cool with that. So they let us in all night by ourselves to run around and investigate. You know what I mean? And we got some stuff like noises, sounded like things being thrown. And this one in the basement part, there's a part of it they call it the black maze, where it's like you're going through a bunch of cages and stuff. It's pretty crazy. They got like lights flashing and everything. Well, we heard what sounded like someone snapping their fingers like that, and then it like echoed like real loud. And it shouldn't even have echoed because I mean it's like the place isn't empty, there's stuff everywhere, but it sounded like an echo in like a high school gymnasium or something. It was wild, man. We got it on camera too. We're gonna get together pretty soon and put all that stuff together in like a mini documentary and put it out. Everything that happened that night. It was pretty wild too.
And then not only with that evidence or that video, you have other things also on your YouTube channel as well, right?
Oh yeah. I have a lot of stuff on my YouTube channel.
Doing,
Yeah.
but judging by the amount of things you've been exploring lately, going out there researching, investigating, I'm gonna say you're one of the bravest people I know because you're going into territory that most people wouldn't even go into.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I go to some pretty weird places sometimes. I mean,
And
I
that,
I usually go by myself because I'm usually by myself. You know what I mean? It's like I'd take people with me, but most of the time when I ask someone to go with me, no one wants to go, which I don't blame them. So I do it on my own.
so what's the furthest you've gone by yourself? That I look like this where you went somewhere just far enough and you're looking around and you're just like, oh my goodness, I think I got myself in a pickle here.
Mm, think- Probably that place where I got that video because you gotta. Well, first of all, it's about a 40-minute drive from my house. Once you hit the mountains, you got to go another 20 minutes, and then you got to get on a dirt road and go another 15 or 20 minutes up the dirt road. It takes you up the mountain to get up on top, and it's where that place is up on top of the mountain. And it's, there's no one around for miles. It's not like there's houses close or anything. It's out there. It's completely by itself.
Now, is this one of those places so remote the GPS doesn't work? Are you using like a road atlas or a map?
No, I don't think I get very good service up there. But I've been going like we've been going to that place ever since we were kids. We'd ride quads through the mountain and get there, we'd go the back way through. So I've known about it a very long time, but yeah, I don't think there is very good service up there. That's why in that video that I was doing a live stream and it kept like going in and out, you know what I mean? It kept saying slow connection, stuff like that, because the service isn't great up there.
Well, I could imagine, but it's a good thing that you know how to get around. You've been there many times because
Yeah.
the average person taking a wrong turn, kind of like that movie, you don't want to wind up in places you don't want to wind up at.
Yeah, right. And that's all it takes is one wrong turn, man. You could be lost for days, even longer. It is not hard to get turned around in the middle of the woods. That's for sure.
No, I could imagine. Not something I care to experience, at least not by myself. I would go with an experienced guide like you if I were to go to something like that. I suggest that for anybody. Let me just go out there, swim with a buddy. That's what they used to tell me when I was a kid.
Right. Definitely. Yeah, see, that's the only reason most of these places that I do go by myself is like I've been going there since I was a kid. I know it like the back of my hand. You know what I mean? There's like zero chance of me getting lost. I always know how to get out. So unless something tries to stop me from getting out, now that's a different story.
Well, I mean, from our last conversation, I know you're pretty well equipped to
Oh yeah.
handle situations like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we'll leave that out in case people get very sensitive when they hear about these kind of things. But I already know what you're packing, what you're going on with there with. So we'll say that
Right.
for another episode. We'll do it like Chadwick's survival skills. We'll do an episode like that. And
Yeah, right on. Yeah, that'd be cool.
no, and that's all right. Now I know you've been working some stuff with your partner as well, but
Yeah.
let's get to the reason why we're here because I not long after you came back from exploring this area, you sent me a video, and as I kept looking at it, and I looked at it several times today to be prepared for the show.
Yeah.
I know right about when I see that thing, and I know right about when it disappears, when you go back and pan and it's gone.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to spoil it too much, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the video and I'm going to probably lower the audio a little bit. And then if you could explain to us where were you at and the type of equipment you were using. I'm going to play the video several times. That way people see, I'll loop it and hopefully they can see what we're seeing.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and do that right now.
Boom.
So I'm going to press pause right about here.
Yeah.
And then tell us where you were.
There's this place in Dunbar Mountains. Like I said, it's about maybe 30, 40 minutes from my house. It's called Elk Rock. And it's up on top of the mountain. You have to drive a long dirt road to get there, and there's a parking lot up at the top. Well, if you cut off to the left into the woods, there are these giant rock formations like boulders and cliffs, like strewn all over the place. There's the big flat rock face. People have been going back there for decades, carving their names and the dates and the rocks and stuff, So, I seemed like a good place to go investigate. A lot of people's been through there. There's a lot of names and dates on those rocks. So I figured, there should be some kind of residual energy. And there's another thing, too, about this place. Strewn about all through the woods around these big boulders, there's these little piles. Well, not little, but decent sized rock piles. You know what I mean? To me, they look like burial mounds, like very old burial mounds, like maybe from like Civil War or French and Indian War, maybe, or maybe even older than that, like Native American. I'm not quite sure, but they're everywhere, like all out through the woods. So, I'm thinking about that. I'm like, I'm gonna go check this place out. So I took some ghost hunting equipment with me and I took off.
All right, we're going to go ahead and bring that up right now because now the stage is set. And go ahead. I'm going to rewind this and go ahead and walk us through what's going on here, my friend.
Okay, I was getting ready to get out my meter because I wanted to put it on one of those rock mounts and see if it would, get any kind of readings. And I was doing a live stream on Facebook. One of the ladies, a friend of mine that was watching, she said, "There's something in front of you." She said she saw it as it was happening, saw it moving too. Because I didn't see it at all. I was getting the meter out. I wasn't paying attention to anything around me. You know what I mean? I was turning it on and looking at it. I didn't see that thing at all. And I'm kind of glad I didn't because I don't know, man. Knowing me, I would have probably went toward it, see what it was.
Going crazy.
But yeah, you can see when you pan back, it's gone.
It looks to me like it was just laying there and it was watching you.
Yeah. That's when I went back over the video because when she said there's something in front of you, I was turned the other way, like up the hill. And I went up the hill because I thought that's where she meant. A little bit later on, she said, no, it was the other direction to your left, I think she said. And then I was like, well, then I didn't see anything. I'm going to have to go back over the video when I get home. And when I did, man, and I saw that thing, it freaked me out a little bit because it does. It looks like something pretty decent size down on the ground, like laying on the ground watching me. When I zoomed in on it, it's a little blurry and stuff, but it looks like a head and shoulders, like something hunched down on the ground, just like looking at me. And it's white. It's like pale white looking. Like a
Yes.
pale white grayish. You know what I mean? It's like, it freaked me out a little bit when I saw it.
You know, and as I'm looking at the video, I can see where the light's reflecting off that down tree branch there.
Yeah.
And this is why I don't think that thing that was in the distance might have been a branch or something that fell, because it was not reflecting the light.
Right.
That can't be right.
Yeah, that was weird. Like I said, I'm kind of glad I didn't see it at the time, because knowing me, man, I would have probably went straight for it. Because, my curiosity, I want to see what it is, of course, but and it didn't look small either. It looked pretty big. I'd
Yep,
say
and then
maybe the size of a person, or a little bigger, maybe.
you know, what you think about how far in front of you do you think it was? It looks to be at least
I'd say maybe 20 yards at the most, because I went up. That was on a Friday night. I went back up that Sunday because I wanted to see if there was like a pile of rocks over there, or a log or a stump or anything, and there was nothing over there. Plus, I wanted to see if I could see any kind of tracks or anything, but I didn't find anything. There's nothing over there but leaves on the ground. That's it.
so for me, for an inexperienced person, but I'm trying to use some logic and from experience as far as the research I've done and I've read other people's information. If there's no feet tracks or foot tracks, feet tracks, that's not even making any sense. Maybe it's something that maybe flies or just happens to jump in that certain section and jump right back out. But I'm going to put it back to the place to where you and I are seeing the same thing. And then I'm going to pause it, because I think you and I are in agreement right here. It's basically at your 12 o'clock at this point.
Right. Yeah, like I said, it was a Facebook live stream, but then I took the video and I cut just that part out. I think it was like a minute and 20 seconds long, and I reposted just that part, and I reposted pictures of it zoomed in. A lot of people were commenting that it was an owl, which, I mean, could be possible, very possible. It could have been anything, but doesn't really look like an owl to me. I don't know.
No, and I can definitely appreciate people giving their opinions of what it could be, but
Yeah, I'm always open to hear people's opinions, man. It doesn't make me mad or anything. I'm curious to see what people think.
which kind of stands with what I said. If it didn't crawl there or walk there, I
Right.
say it either jumped or flew. Maybe it could have been an owl. Now, is Virginia? This is in Virginia, right?
No, this is in Pennsylvania. This is like 40 minutes from my house.
All right. Now, in this area, are there a lot of owls in that area? Is it like a common
Not
type of?
really. No. Like
So
I
that can,
said too, when I zoomed way in on it, of course it's blurry, but man, it looks like a head and shoulders. But I guess that could be an owl's head and wings. I mean, I'm not saying it isn't, and I'm not saying it is. It's like I have no idea what it is. But see, here's what gets me thinking it might be one of those crawler rake creatures. All right, the rake. That's just a new name. They used to call these things ghouls back in the day, right? These pale crawler things. The lure on them is these things would lurk in cemeteries and feast on corpses. When I was walking in there that night, I caught the most god-awful smell I ever smelled in my life. It was like a rotten I don't know how to explain it. It's like nasty, raw. It kind of wasn't a dead animal smell, but somewhere along those lines, you know what I mean? But it was different than like a rotted dead animal, because I think everybody knows how that smells.
Mm-hmm.
And it just smelled rotten, and it was horrible, and it was overpowering, and I had to stop for a minute and wait till it passed. And then I kept going. Okay, that smell. And then how I said about the rock mounds that are everywhere around there that I think are burial mounds. It all ties together with the lore on the ghoul, that it would feast on corpses and hang out in cemeteries. You know what I mean? And then that thing, it's like a white pale color, and it looks like it's down on the ground crawling, watching me, looking up at me. It looks like a head and shoulders. It's creepy, man.
It is. And I'm gonna play it one more time because then I'll play the full clip, and then we're gonna see once it has been spotted, and then when you pan back later on, it's completely gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
So here we go. There it is.
Still there.
Mm-hmm.
Guess I probably should have turned this on before I started.
Gone.
It didn't make a sound when it left either.
No, it didn't. Yeah, and I was going back over the video, and I zoomed like way in, and I was looking way in the background. I think I'm gonna have to get my buddy that does the editing and stuff to check it out. I think I saw it way in the back, upright, walking by a tree.
Can't be right.
But I'm gonna have to see if he can like enhance it or anything, see if we can tell if that's what that really is, because it looks like something pale, upright, pretty tall, walking by a tree. It was like way in the back. But I could be completely wrong. I don't know.
I mean,
There's no way.
possibility could be also might have been more than one, and you might have seen that's a small one there, and in the background, an adult possible creature, and then that's why the little one left because it got called back somehow.
Yeah, that's possible too. I never even thought of that.
This is a millimeter. It picks up electromagnetic energy and
Yeah, it's getting crazy.
Yeah, I noticed that. So, my goodness, so you've experienced that, and then you're gonna go through the video, and then probably you're gonna be uploading that on your channel here very soon as well, right?
Yeah, I think I already put it on there. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and I urge those to go on your YouTube channel and check out that video, and
But
I think they'll be able to see what we just saw as well. Hopefully, come up with the same conclusion. I'm of the opinion that I don't think it's an owl,
yeah,
but
I don't think it is either. But I mean, I'm not saying it's not impossible, because it's possible, but I don't think it is.
sure, and that's okay because when you come into these type of things where one believes they saw something, you have to start doing the math. You have to see the power of deduction of what it is not, and see what it could be. Perfectly great. Wasn't an owl. Could it have been a possum, or could it have been although squirrels don't go out at night, as far as I know. I
Right.
always see them. I always see them in the daytime dodging cars. So,
Yeah.
but it could have been definitely anything. So now that you're back from your long camping trip and your explorations, I know you and your partner have a lot of things planned, but what are you going to be doing? What do you have coming up next?
What do I have? Well, I think next month I'm taking a little break. But then in September, I'm going to be at the Blue Ridge Bigfoot Festival, Saturday the 26th. It's at the Wintergreen Resort, Wintergreen, Virginia. That one I'm speaking at, actually. Yeah. And then after that, I'll be at the West Virginia Bigfoot Conference, October 9th through the 11th. But that one, I'm just going to hang out with Dan. I think he's speaking at that one. He's doing the one at Blue Ridge also. We're both going to be speaking at that one. So that's pretty cool.
That is so. With that, are you gonna be doing more speaking engagements? Maybe next year, you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I've already done a couple, but yeah, I'd like to get a little more into that side of it too.
Excellent. Hopefully, you'll get those recorded, upload those on your social media. So now, for the magic question for our good friends and listeners of Let's Find Out that want to learn more about you, your research, and your channel, what can they go find out?
I mean, I got a lot of videos of a lot of different stuff. I got some ghost videos, I got some UFO videos, ton of videos of me out in the woods. I mean, like whatever you're into, check out my channel. You probably like it.
Oh, and there's a lot of stuff in there too. So this conversation is just the tip of the iceberg, just like our last conversation was. But I know that you need some rest, my friend. Just got back from a long trip. You've been working pretty hard, doing back-to-back research and explorations. What we're gonna do is we're gonna bring you back later this year, and then we're gonna talk a little bit more. Maybe let us know your conclusion on the piece of video we just saw today,
Cool.
and then give us the lowdown on that. And I'm sure that you're a very lucky and unlucky kind of guy because there's always something going on when you're out there. So we're gonna definitely talk about that, my friend.
Right, right.
Awesome, man. I will see you on the next one, and be careful out there.
Oh yeah, dude. I always try to. Thanks, Diego.
Welcome to the TCC Research Channel, home of Mysteries Unlimited TV, Let's Find Out with Diego, and the free documentary playlist. I'm Thomas Markle. Here on this channel, we explore Appalachian mysteries, cryptids, UFOs, folklore, and the paranormal. Every week, you'll find new episodes of Let's Find Out, bonus overdrive, live stream discussions, and original documentaries. We talk with authors, researchers, investigators, musicians, and people with real stories to tell. If you're into unexplained encounters, strange phenomenon, and deep dive conversations, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe and join us. There's always something new to explore.
Copyright Diego the Podcaster. All content for Let's Find Out is the property of Diego the Podcaster and is served directly from our servers with no modification, redirects, or rehosting. All celebrity impersonators are paid performers. The impersonated celebrities do not endorse or promote any views or opinions expressed by our guests, Diego the Podcaster, or Let's Find Out. The information shared on Let's Find Out with Diego is provided on an as-is basis, with no guarantees of completeness, accuracy, usefulness, or timeliness.